I believe it was kind of rare for God to speak through like a burning bush, even back in the biblical times. God talks to us the same way that he always has. Do you think God speaks to us in the same way today that he did back then?
Yeah, I actually preached a sermon on this 2 weeks ago. The idea that we all tend to think that God speaks in like a Morgan Freeman booming voice that comes down from the heavens and is very clear when you hear it. But if you actually look at most of the stories of Scripture of God speaking, the Scripture is quite explicit that God speaks in a still small voice often. And so I think in order to hear God, the way God spoke in Scripture and the way God spoke today, it requires us being quiet and on our faces before God and listening for the voice of God. It's not always going to be, although it has happened throughout history and I believe could happen, that God will show up with a sign or in a very audible voice. But more often, the Spirit inside of us is always, I believe, speaking and whispering and trying to guide us towards the truth. But it takes quietness and it takes tuning our hearts to the Spirit to be able to perceive when God is speaking to us.
Exactly what Matthew 6:33, where it says,